Malaysia is becoming the pride of Southeast Asia, not because it shouts about success, but because it builds it quietly, steadily, and confidently. While some countries chase attention, Malaysia builds fundamentals. While others preach sudden growth, Malaysia executes long-term strategy. A nation that blends modern progress with cultural depth, stability with innovation, and affordability with quality is rare, and Malaysia stands in that rare category. The world is finally paying attention, and the truth is simple: Malaysia earns respect, not demands it. Malaysia is not perfect and never claims to be. It fights currency pressures, cost of living challenges, bureaucracy issues, and talent brain drain. But instead of collapsing under pressure, Malaysia adapts. When the ringgit weakens, Malaysia turns it into export strength. When foreign labor costs rise in global hubs, Malaysia becomes the preferred alternative. When global supply chains shift due to geopolitical tension, Malaysia becomes a neutral and trusted hub. When technology becomes the future, Malaysia invests in data centers, AI, semiconductors, and digital infrastructure. This quiet resilience and balanced strategy make Malaysia a unique player in the region. Let's talk economy. Malaysia is one of the most diversified economies in Asia. Oil and gas, semiconductors, finance, tourism, palm oil, manufacturing, digital services, electronics assembly, logistics, education, and agriculture, all are pillars. Where others rely on a single industry, Malaysia spreads risk like a well-managed portfolio. That diversification is not luck. It is policy. Petronas supports national revenue. Electrical and electronics exports drive manufacturing power. Islamic finance solidifies banking reputation. Halal industry leadership attracts Muslim markets. Tourism strengthens cultural branding. Technology investments prepare the future. Agriculture and palm oil maintain food security and export earnings. This balance keeps Malaysia stable while others face boom and bust cycles. The semiconductor story alone places Malaysia among global players. Malaysia contributes roughly 13 to 15% of global chip packaging and testing. This isn't new, it's decades of consistency. Intel started operations here in the 1970s. Texas Instruments, AMD, Micron, Infineon all built long-term trust. Now the world sees the payoff. With US-China tech rivalry reshaping supply chains, companies expand in Malaysia because they want stability, talent, efficiency, and neutral ground. New semiconductor investments in Johor, Penang, and Selangor are rising. Malaysia aims to move from assembly and testing into chip design, automation, and advanced manufacturing. It's not noise, it's progress. Some countries talk about becoming Silicon Valley of Asia. Malaysia silently becomes semiconductor backbone of Asia. Infrastructure is another strength outsiders don't expect. Malaysians are used to highways, airports, fiber internet, banking access, and functioning systems. But when foreigners arrive, they realize Malaysia's infrastructure beats many developing countries and even rivals some advanced economies in certain areas. Kuala Lumpur's MRT, LRT, highways, world-class malls, efficient airports like KLIA, ports like Port Klang and Tanjung Pelipas, expanding industrial parks in Johor and Penang, digital finance adoption, and cloud infrastructure growth, these are powerful signals. Google's major AI and cloud investment in Malaysia, AWS multi-billion ringgit cloud expansion, Microsoft Cloud and AI partnerships, NVIDIA collaborations, all show Malaysia is building a digital future. Not hype, real infrastructure. Tourism tells another side. Malaysia doesn't sell itself like Thailand or Bali and doesn't need flashy campaigns to prove value. Visitors discover Malaysia and then spread the story. They talk about clean cities, polite people, calm environment, advanced malls, organized transportation, safety, nature, and food that tastes like cultural unity. Medical tourism brings people from all over Asia and the Middle East, because Malaysian healthcare quality is high, service is world-class, and costs are reasonable. Malaysia is also the top Muslim-friendly tourist destination for multiple years, with halal hospitality recognized globally. Nature tourism adds another layer, from Sabah and Sarawak rainforests to Langkawi and Perhentian beaches, from Cameron Highlands to Kinabalu. This diversity makes Malaysia stand out, urban comfort and nature harmony. What truly sets Malaysia apart is social balance. Malik, Chinese, Indian, indigenous communities, and global expats create a multicultural society. Different religions coexist: Islam, Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, and more. Different languages are spoken: Malay, Mandarin, Tamil, English, and local dialects. People celebrate each other's festivals: Hari Raya, Chinese New Year, Deepavali, Christmas. This isn't perfect harmony every second, but it is real coexistence. It teaches tolerance, global understanding, and unity through diversity. This multicultural DNA becomes a competitive edge in business, tourism, education, and diplomacy. While other nations struggle with racial tension, Malaysia builds a system that allows differences to coexist without breaking national identity. English proficiency is another silent advantage. Malaysia consistently ranks among the top English-speaking nations in Asia after Singapore. This allows Malaysia to do international business smoothly. It helps in global partnerships, expat settlement, foreign investment, and digital workforce development. In ASEAN, talent mobility favors countries with English advantage, and Malaysia naturally fits global communication. Malaysia's cost-to-quality ratio is unmatched in the region. Singapore is world-class but expensive. Thailand is affordable but not as stable or English-strong. Indonesia has scale but infrastructure challenges. Vietnam has factories but rising wages and limited social stability. The Philippines has English but lacks industrial depth. Malaysia sits in the middle, high enough quality for global business, but affordable enough for investors, digital nomads, retirees, and middle-class families. Kuala Lumpur offers luxury living for a fraction of Western and Singapore costs. Penang, Johor Bahru, Malacca, and Kota Kinabalu draw long-stay visitors and professionals. Quality of life becomes Malaysia's global advantage. Now talk society and governance. Malaysia changes governments through votes, not violence. There are political debates, coalition transitions, policy shifting, and public pressure, signs of a functioning democracy, not instability. While other countries face coups, riots, and authoritarian swings, Malaysia maintains steady democratic process. Investors love stability more than propaganda. Malaysia offers that stability plus cultural calmness and pragmatic governance. Leaders focus on food security, wages, tech growth, industrial roadmap, infrastructure improvements, and investment attraction. Not perfect, but proactive and realistic. Malaysia's social safety structure also stands out. Government hospitals offer accessible healthcare. Public schools serve millions. Subsidies exist for fuel, electricity, and essentials. Civil service maintains consistent services. Internet prices are reasonable. Financial assistance programs help lower-income households. This soft infrastructure keeps society functional, unlike countries where middle class collapses under inflation pressure. Modernization blends with tradition here. Malaysia embraces technology, malls, digital banking, e-wallets, e-government services, cloud systems, and AI adoption. At the same time, people still value family, community, religion, food culture, and politeness. Malaysia modernizes without losing identity. That balance is rare and admired. Malaysia's youth become a force. Tech-savvy, globally connected, content-driven, entrepreneurial, educated, socially aware. They build startups, create YouTube channels, run e-commerce, join global companies, study abroad, return home, and bring ideas. The rise of Malaysian creators, tech talent, engineers, designers, and digital marketers strengthens the global recognition of Malaysian skill. Local universities improve, private education grows, international students enroll, and talent ecosystems evolve. Malaysia's global diplomatic strategy is another strength. It doesn't pick reckless sides. It builds ties with US, China, Europe, Middle East, ASEAN, India, and Japan at the same time. Neutrality creates opportunities. Investors see Malaysia as a safe balancing point for East-West supply chains. Malaysia participates in Belt and Road, engages US trade, collaborates with Middle Eastern capital, and hosts global summits. This balanced diplomacy earns respect. In halal economy, Malaysia leads. It sets halal certification standards recognized globally. Halal travel, halal finance, halal food, halal cosmetics, halal logistics, Malaysia positions itself as global halal hub. This matters in a world where Muslim markets grow rapidly. Middle East investors see Malaysia as trusted partner. Muslim travelers see Malaysia as comfortable destination. Islamic financial institutions operate globally from Malaysia. Countries like Saudi Arabia and UAE consult Malaysia on halal standards and Islamic banking systems. Energy advantage also stands strong. Petronas is not just a company, it is a national economic engine and a flagship brand. Petronas invests globally, supports national income, funds state development, trains engineers, builds energy technology, and leads regional energy transitions. Malaysia also expands renewable energy, solar farms, hydro, green technology, hydrogen discussions, EV push, industrial decarbonization. Not rushed hype, disciplined progress. Malaysia's agriculture and food security planning is serious. Rice programs, palm oil industries, livestock expansion, and sustainable farming strategies sustain national needs and export value. Palm oil industry faces global criticism, but Malaysia pushes sustainable certification and research, making it more competitive. Global demand for food security makes Malaysia increasingly important. Cultural influence grows too. Malaysian music, films, YouTube creators, tourism vloggers, food bloggers, and influencers share Malaysia to the world. Food especially becomes cultural ambassador. Nasi lemak, roti canai, laksa, char kway teow, satay, cendol, now recognized globally. Malaysian restaurants open in foreign cities. Content creators show multicultural cooking, respect culture, and spread love for Malaysian taste. Food becomes diplomacy. Foreign workers who come to Malaysia talk about respect, calm lifestyle, and peaceful society. Expats call Malaysia one of the best places to live for value, comfort, and warmth. Digital nomads choose Malaysia for internet quality, cost balance, visa options like DE Rantau program, and safe environment. Retirees find healthcare, climate, housing affordability, and community warmth attractive. Business professionals praise talent quality and ease of communication. Malaysia's pride is not in claiming to be number one in everything, but in proving to be good in many things at once. Balanced economy, stable society, multicultural harmony, global trust, strategic location, strong workforce, infrastructure readiness, and forward-looking policies, this is why Malaysia stands out. Many global analysts now say Southeast Asia is the next economic engine of the world. In this engine, each country has a role: Singapore finance, Thailand tourism manufacturing, Indonesia resources, Vietnam factories, the Philippines workforce, but Malaysia binds multiple strengths together. It becomes the stabilizer, the bridge, the balance pillar, the high-quality but affordable hub. It becomes the place where East meets West peacefully, where Islam meets modernity harmoniously, where cultures mix respectfully, where global companies expand safely, and where ordinary people live comfortably. The pride of Malaysia does not scream. It breathes. It works. It grows. It adapts. Malaysians travel abroad and come back realizing how well their country functions. Foreigners visit and wonder why Malaysia isn't hyped enough. Investors research and find stability and potential. Students study abroad and represent Malaysia with confidence. Entrepreneurs build quietly and generate real results. Civil society evolves. Media attention rises. Global recognition grows. Malaysia's pride is built from quiet strength, strategic patience, cultural confidence, economic balance, education commitment, technological ambition, hospitality and humility, peaceful coexistence, diplomatic neutrality, long-term vision. A future-ready nation that still values tradition. A rising economy that stays humble. A diverse society that stands united. A regional power that chooses peace. That is Malaysia. That is why Malaysia becomes pride of Southeast Asia. And the world is just beginning to realize it. Malaysia rises without noise. Malaysia earns respect without demanding it. Malaysia becomes pride not through slogans, but through substance. The next decade of Southeast Asia will be loud, competitive, and globally significant, and in that rise, Malaysia stands as the calm strength in the center, steady, modern, welcoming, and proud, not in arrogance, but in achievement. Malaysia's best story is not in the past. It is being written right now, every day, by its people, its industries, its stability, its innovation, and its spirit. Quiet nations sometimes build the loudest futures, and Malaysia is proving it.